Hello, everybody. Day 84. Yay, our process is running. So let's get started. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. And you can use your hands, palms facing towards the earth, to run this process. You do not have to touch the earth, but you can. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. And please know, since we started this process, some people's animals have stopped having skin issues. So if you do have an animal with skin issues, maybe just running that process directly on them too. So elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. Please know too that your points of views create the reality around you. And sometimes we have the point of view that we just love sunshine, or we have a preference of the rain, or we have a preference of the wind, or we have a preference of whatever it might be weather-wise. What if you actually, instead of having a point of view, looked at what might be a contribution to the landscape? Because if you, for example, live in a place where a lot of people come for vacation, they don't want to see the rain. So what if you had also the energy of the rain, and that the rain could come? Or if you have a point of view that you don't like it cold, but the cold is actually required for the plants, for nature, what would it take for you to change that point of view? And what would it take also for you to know that you can ask for weather? You can ask for rain. And so what if it wasn't about what we personally would like, but also what is required for nature and what works. And would you be willing to actually assist the earth with what is required in your region? So everything that doesn't allow that, will you just try and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. So please know by your request, things may start to show up. What if you acknowledge that? And what if you were willing to request? And again, the interesting part is that a lot of rain now just stays on the surface and runs off, creating flooding. Like in Germany, where I grew up, we never had flooding, and now we do. So the soil isn't able to absorb the rain in the same way. This is what we're doing here. We're helping the earth to have healthier soils. And what else is required for that? There's a big movement out there for no longer turning the soil. And there's a lot in agriculture that people are holding on to because it has been done for hundreds of years, thousands of years perhaps. But does that make it right? So everything that is, we just try and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. If we don't turn the soil that go down 3 meters, 6 feet. So imagine if it rains, the rain has a way to get into the soil just even by following the root system. But in a healthy soil, there's a lot of space between the molecules in a way. Like the soil itself has more space because there's a lot of activity from microbes, from fungi. Like there's a lot of systems that are alive. And when we turn the soil over and over and over, and we can control everything that is growing with chemicals, we start to really manipulate the soil in a way that diminishes its capacity to absorb water. So what else is truly possible? And where can you put your energy aside from this process to create a different future with all of that? So everything that doesn't allow that, will you just try and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. And Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, always says, look, it's not about the fight but it is about creating more consciousness and more people coming to consciousness. So what do you know about that? What can you contribute to that? And it also doesn't mean to just roll over when somebody says something, but you can still stand up for what you know. But you don't have to fight to stand up for what you know. You can be an energy. You can be willing to kill without killing. A lot of it is about the energy that you're willing to be in your life. And what if you were the leader of the pack? Everywhere you've been avoiding that, will you just turn on creative, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. So please intensify the process now. Please connect to everybody else around the world who is running this process now, who has been running this process, who will be running this process. Let's be all connected. And please receive from each other. Receive from the planet as well. From the soil, from the earth, from each other, from your body. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. So let's step it up one more time. Even more. Even more, even more. And give yourself some space. Expand out in all directions. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. My target is to have thousands of people running this, so please share it. What else is possible? I know we're changing something, and thank you all for being here and playing with me. You guys are amazing. And what can we create? And what are we creating already? And what change have we already facilitated? Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis, and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poovats, and beyonds. And please keep running this process even after this broadcast is over. The process is never over. Please keep running it. And again, thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.